Tonight on Joy News Prime, Ghana Manganese Company fights back its shutdown by Lands and Natural Resources Minister and challenges claims it cost $300 million in lost revenue to the state.
Oh, I'm not sure where he got his facts from, but to the best of my knowledge, GMC is doing a genuine job. We have a huge chunk, about $20 million with the government.
Forestry Commission denies claims contained in investigative report by US-based agency. Its officials are taking bribes to allow the illegal export of rosewood. In business,
Association of Ghana Industries cites high cost of electricity as major impediment to businesses in the second quarter barometer report.
Yes, our position still holds. For those that we articulated as inputs, we wish that to be addressed. One was the communication levy. Yes, we are not in support of the imposition of the communication levy. So what it means that we have to take it further and discuss with the appropriate ministry and see how this is sorted out.
And 2 KNUST students manufacturing sanitary pads from banana fiber win this year's presidential pitch, as well as President Akufo-Addo's cash prize of 40,000 cedis.
Our innovation is making sanitary pad out of banana fiber, which after farmers have harvested, they cut the stems away and they throw it away as waste. We collect those waste and turn them into making sanitary pads, which is employer banana pads.
I'm Israel Lion. Joy News Prime comes to you live from the Joy News studio here in Accra with digital address GA0992539. Stay tuned in. In our first story, managers of the Ghana Manganese Company have described as inaccurate and inconsistent government's claim that the company's failure to fulfill its obligations to the state has resulted in revenue loss estimated at over $300 million. Officials say, contrary to the claims made by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister at a recent news conference, the Ghana Revenue Authority is rather supposed to refund $20 million due the company in VAT refunds. Describing as shocking the minister's news conference, Chief Operations Officer of the troubled company, Benjamin Kwashi, says the fate of over 1,500 workers currently hangs in the balance. Latif Idris has more.
The Ghana Manganese Company Limited, sometime in January, was directed to halt its mining operations to enable the state undertake a thorough financial audit of its operations. The ministry subsequently agreed with the company that the audit could be carried out whilst mining operations are ongoing. It came to light after the preliminary audit that the state is incurring huge losses through the operations of the company. The audit also revealed the company failed to pay additional royalty of $12.8 million, additional corporate taxes of $79 million, and a loss of dividends declared of $6.1 million. Hence, government's directive for the closure of the company. The Ghana Manganese Company is, however, challenging the claim. Chief Operations Officer Benjamin Kwashi says government should rather focus on paying them the $20 million refund.
Well, if you look at what the minister put out there, he basically said that there were some infractions, but to the best of my knowledge, there's no such infraction, because we have committed ourselves to paying all taxes due the government and royalties. As I speak now, if you look at VAT refund, we have a huge chunk, about $20 million with the government to be given back to GMC. So I believe that we have fulfilled all our obligations in terms of taxes.
$20 million,
yes.
Government is owing GMC $20 million, is that what you're saying?
Yes, we actually need to take back from the government an amount of...
He insists the company has not defaulted and wants government to come clean, especially when it has always honored its statutory obligations.
What we call transfer pricing is something that is decided by Ghana Revenue Authority and the company. So we sit down and then discuss the best price for our manganese ore that is shipped outside the country. So from time to time, they will come out and say, okay, this must be what we think is a fair price or an arm's length price. That was done, and they actually did some adjustments in the price. So the difference, which amounted to about 40 million, was paid to the government.
And so that makes the minister's pronouncement, inconsistent?
Well, I'm not sure where he got his facts from, but to the best of my knowledge, GMC is doing a genuine job, and we ensure that the right things are done.
Meanwhile, a meeting has been scheduled between the government of Ghana and managers of GMC at the Jubilee House on Friday to resolve the dispute.
All right, so we have so far been unsuccessful in getting a response from the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. Pools of stagnant water, dirty, sticky and stinking mud are what motorists at Atadeka in the Katamanso municipality have to deal with on the bumpy roads. Now, Joy in Your Community features MFA Atiamwa early reports beyond hitting and scratching their bumpers, many motorists never complete their trips due to frequent breakdowns.
The Ashaiman-Katamanso-Apollonia stretch is the only tarred road for communities along that route. These include Zainu, Atadeka, Washington, New York, Switzerland, Kubekrum, and then Katamanso. Ideally, any trip between Ashaiman and Katamanso should last between 15 to 30 minutes. During rush hour, however, commuters can spend more than an hour to cross the 8-kilometer stretch. And for those who want to avoid the 8-kilometer bumper-to-bumper traffic, persons heading towards Tema and Accra are left with the burden of having to drive on the untarred potholes-ridden stretch, which goes through Community 22 Annex. Though a longer route compared with the main road, free flow of traffic is assured on the stretch. It is the reason motorists like this gentleman who work in Tema prefers it to the main road, but certainly not in its bumpy, rough, muddy and clayed state.
This is the road I use every day to work. At least around Washington and goes to where you Tema Regional Fire Office every day, meaning 5 times in a week. As you can see, every week I have to go to workshops and shops and whatever those things. Please cleanliness, please. If you can do so, if you can appeal to the authorities to do something about it.
The community link roads are not any different. Taxis and many bus drivers bear the brunt. They direct their frustrations on the municipal assembly.
Atadeka station, New York.
I load passengers from Atadeka to Peaceland. Our roads are very bad. We increased the fare by 50 pesos. It used to be 2 cedis, 50 pesos. After every trip, we have to go to the workshop for maintenance. We are always buying spare parts. We plead with the Katamanso MC to pay attention to us. We are suffering. Our roads are bad. We pay our taxes. There are a lot of passengers at the station waiting for us, but the road is bad.
Every day, one trip, one shop. Every day, one trip, one shop. So we are waiting for nothing. By the end of the day, you go home with empty hands. So we are appealing to them. We are human beings. Because you cannot be working for mechanic and spare part people.
An aerial shot shows these communities may have been well planned and demarcated. That notwithstanding, not a single street, link road or lane has seen bitumen or granite. Having lived in Atadeka for over 10 years, Christy and her neighbors say they can't bear it anymore because the poor state of roads in the community is affecting their livelihoods.
I'm Elikem. I live at Atadeka on this junction here, leading to New York. I've been living here for 2 years now, and the road is not good, as you can see. If it rains, it comes to this side. Once in a while, they will use their grader to come and grade it, then that's all. Sometimes accidents have been occurring here. Drivers will be having issues with each other. They will be slapping because of the road. Sometimes the gutter itself is nothing to write home about. We are pleading with the government to see us, to come and look for us and do the road for us. We are begging him. We are dying.
If you turn Kwalanti me go school, at the time the one has said, Atadeka, only ye MP, ya 2 Abama, 20 years, 18 years, a quite year who she every 4 years.
When it rains, children can't go to school. The entire stretch becomes muddy. Atadeka is our MP. Vehicles break down here daily. They only grade the road during election years. The moment elections are over, we are forgotten. Women in labor deliver in vehicles because of the road. People die on their way to the hospital because of the bad road. We plead with Atadeka to fix our roads. I am in Atadeka. We can't work because of the road. We are losing big customers because of the road. The moment you mention Atadeka, customers shy away because of the road.
Big customers. Me shop in here, who catch your business, who Atadeka, brother, I said the road is not good. I can't come with my car.
The rains are compounding the anguish of residents, but nature must have its way. The question, however, remains, what are the authorities and persons responsible for this area doing to alleviate the plight of residents? The Katamanso Municipal Assembly has some responses for Joy News.
Well, for a community that has New York and Washington all in there, they certainly deserve better. Now, reacting to these concerns, the Municipal Chief Executive of Katamanso, Solomon Appiah, said that development members of the municipality are demanding can only be met if they pay their property rates and other levies. According to Mr. Appiah, government is overwhelmed with development requests. It will therefore require resources from the Assembly's internally generated funds to execute certain projects at the community level.
If the people are saying that we have what it takes to build the roads and the drains and we are not doing it, we are not descending on the communities to collect our legitimate property rates. When they are paying their legitimate property rates, it's the same money we will use in developing the community. All the areas people are claiming we have not developed the drains and the roads. Yes, it is true. We are funding the requisite funding to be able to execute this project for us. But we are also appealing to them. They should pay their property rate. They should come for the building permit, pay for building permit. You cannot go and build a house 200 meters away in the obscure area and you want the assembly to come and build a road to that place. Well, even you have not paid your property rate. So we are appealing to the community. They should voluntarily come and pay their property rates and then their building permit. Then we will be in the position also to enhance development at a faster rate.
Ms. Appiah assures work on some major links in the community will commence in August as soon as the rains are over. In other news, the Forestry Commission is denying claims contained in an investigative report that its officials are taking bribes to allow illegal export of rosewood. The Commission, however, says it will investigate the allegations. The report by US-based not-for-profit organization Environmental Investigation Agency claimed, among others, that the director of the Wildlife Division of the Commission was taking percentages of illegally exported rosewood to allow the illicit trade to thrive. So interesting revelations there. But in a statement issued Wednesday, the Commission denies this. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo of our Environment and Technology Desk joins us with more. Hello, Joseph. Now, what is the Forestry Commission saying in the statement it issued today?
Well, they acknowledge that the ban has not been enforced as they had expected over the years during the tenure of various governments, including the NPP and the NDC, who they think is a worrying situation that they're hoping to address going forward. But they say that the former executive director of the Wildlife Division, Mr. Nana Kofi-Addo, has vehemently denied any involvement with illegal operators and has also denied collecting any bribe or a percentage of the sale from illegal dealers. And if you had seen the latter part of that video, they showed someone who allegedly is a trafficker with driving their said investigator, and the said trafficker was telling the investigator that Nana Kofi-Addo was involved in this, and this is what they are denying. They say Nana Kofi-Addo has actually thrown a challenge to anyone who has proof of his involvement in any illegalities to come forward and prove that, and that despite his denial, they will institute the necessary investigations to ensure that all staff who have been mentioned in the report are investigated and a conclusion brought to bear on this matter.
Are they able to say when they're going to conclude these investigations?
They don't say, except that they say even as they go ahead with the investigation, they are reiterating that they are committed to enforcing the latest ban that was announced by the minister on the 12th of March on whether exports, cutting, the exportation, or even the transportation of any rosewood species.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. You're watching Joy News Prime. Still ahead in the bulletin, 2 KNUST students manufacturing sanitary pads from banana fiber win this year's presidential pitch, as well as President Akufo-Addo's cash prize of 40,000 cedis.
Our innovation is making sanitary pad out of banana fiber, which after farmers have harvested, they cut the stems away and they throw it away as waste. We collect those waste and turn them into making sanitary pads, which is employer banner pads.
Two students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology who make sanitary pads from banana fiber have been declared winners of this year's presidential pitch, a business competition aimed at encouraging budding entrepreneurs. So impressed were President Akufo-Addo, who presided over the award ceremony. He gave them a personal cash prize of 40,000 cedis, in addition to the 60,000 cedi startup capital awarded by the organizers. Before we bring you the story from the award ceremony, here's how Love Firm's Kwesi Debra broke the story of Emily Otu-Kwesing and Matilda Sampong.
Ms. Otu-Kwesing is a final-year civil engineering student, while Matilda Sampong is in the second year pursuing business administration.
Ladies in the rural areas miss classes during their periods simply because they cannot afford to buy sanitary pads. According to Ghana Web statistics, about 95% of girls in the rural areas miss school activities just during that period of flow. Nonetheless, pads are made of plastic materials, and these have been found to complicate embryonic development as it can lead to organ damage. So the current sanitary pads that we have available contain a certain chemical, dioxin. Dioxin is listed by the WHO as a highly toxic environmental pollutant and has been linked to cancer and immune system damage, which is harmful to the female reproductive system. It is attributed that it can cause cervical cancer. The DEW, therefore, set out to make safer and environmentally friendly sanitary pads from cotton and banana stem. Banana and plantain stem have proven to be effective absorbents. They can be used alternative, either banana stem or plantain stem. These stems actually has high absorptive properties. In the Western world, they use these products to produce paper fibers. They also use to produce paper bags. It's also being used to produce diapers.
So that was how the two first came to light in April this year in our Tech Thursday segment. Now today, that product has received presidential endorsement courtesy the Ministry of Business Development's presidential pitch. Presidential correspondent Elton Brobe reports.
19-year-old Vanessa Aisha Liman won the maiden edition of the presidential pitch.
Her business proposal was on food processing in Golo in the Sisala district of the Upper West region. A year on, she has a good story to tell.
With these funds, I was able to establish a factory in the Upper West region, which is still going under construction, and we intend to commission it by November. We also acquired machineries, and also we rebranded our products from Nestlac cereal to Vanillin cereal. This is the factory here, which we have established, and we intend to commission it very soon. We've also been able to acquire FDA, and we have changed our packaging from the containers to zip bags.
The other 9 finalists have similar stories to tell.
We brought you fruit kenke, a kenke smoothie, also known as mashke, with fruit toppings. Fruit kenke is delicious, it's nutritious, and it's filling. And in the past year, we have delighted the taste buds of numerous people spanning diverse nationalities. We have made revenue to the tune of over 19,000 Ghana cedis, and we are a team of 10 strong full and part-time workers.
Young entrepreneurs, we as students have helped solve the problem of bushfires and also help solve the problem of Fulani, some of the problems of Fulani herdsmen in the Upper East region. And also we have created employment for directly and indirectly for 200 people in the Upper East region, and are currently looking forward to creating employment for more people in the country.
The presidential pitch is a project designed and organized by the Ministry of Business Development to offer young Ghanaian entrepreneurs between the ages of 18 and 25 the opportunity to market their business ideas and get financial assistance to implement those ideas. The project is in line with the President Akufo-Addo's vision to assist young entrepreneurs nurture their business ideas and improve livelihoods. This year, 200 competitors were scaled down to 10 finalists. After 2 minutes presentation before President Akufo-Addo and a panel of judges, 2 students from the KNUST, Emily Otukwesin and Matilda Sampong, won. Their business model, making sanitary pads from banana fiber.
Our innovation is making sanitary pad out of banana fiber, which after farmers have harvested, they cut the stems away and they throw it away as waste. We collect those waste and turn them into making sanitary pads, which is employer banana pads. Mr. President, making sanitary pad out of banana fiber will not only keep the girl child in school, it will be accessible to low-income women in rural areas. It will prevent non-biodegradable waste generation. Mr. President, we need an amount of 50,000 Ghana cedis in order to start mass production, to keep girls in school, and also to make it more accessible to women in rural areas.
For their prize, they were given a 60,000 cedi grant to start the business. Excited about the proposal, President Akufo-Addo donated 40,000 cedis more to the winners.
My personal donation to Floya, so we make a round figure 100,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official.
So I will add 40,000 to that to make 100,000. Okay.
All right, so we say congratulations to the 2 of them. You're watching Joy News. Vice President Dr. Mamadou Bawumia has charged the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, financial institutions, and telcos to work closely with the revenue-generating agencies to ensure fees and levies are paid electronically through the newly launched G8 Dual Card. The system, which the Vice President describes as the first of its kind in the world, will also drastically eliminate ghost names on the public payroll. Joining us is Latif Idris was at the G8 Dual Card launch Wednesday morning in Accra.
The dual-purpose card, according to the Vice President, forms part of the administration's move to ensuring that every bankable Ghanaian has a bank account, a promise made by the then opposition NPP in the run-up to the 2016 general elections.
Data suggests that we have about 34.5 million mobile money accounts in Ghana. And so by bringing mobile money interoperability and making the mobile wallets interoperable with bank accounts, for example, you are essentially providing bank accounts practically to people who were excluded from the financial system. This is the real innovative solution that Ghana has brought about to address the financial inclusion with the help of the mobile phone interacting or being interoperable with the bank account. So from the bank account, you can make payments to the mobile wallet, and from the mobile wallet, you can make payments into the bank account. So this is, in a sense, a practical way of making sure every bankable Ghanaian has a bank account.
The card, which has dual functionality of an eSwitch and GH-Link applications, will promote a cashless system whilst eliminating the inconvenience that comes with carrying multiple cards.
What we are launching today, which is the dual eSwitch and GH-Link card, is a world first. It's not happened anywhere in the world. It is the first time that any country in the world is issuing this combined EMV card and a financial inclusion card. It is remarkable and will further promote financial inclusion in Ghana. In the payment system space, and I'm not shy about saying this, in the payment system space, it is clear that Ghana is now the undisputed leader in Africa.
Holders of the GH Dual card can use it on the numerous GH-Link and eSwitch ATMs of financial institutions, and the CEO of GIPS, Archie Hesse, speaking at the launch, said plans are underway to secure and install hybrid terminals to make it easy for holders of the dual card to transact business.
In line with the central bank's requirements, all banks in Ghana are required to issue both eSwitch and GH-Link cards to their customers, depending on whichever their customers prefer. We've currently embarked on a journey to come up very soon with a hybrid point-of-sale device as well. You are all aware that we do have one, that customers of ours have complained that it is very expensive. We are currently working with a French manufacturer, and the price, you'll be amazed, is hovering well below the $300 mark. And this point of sale will accept both the eSwitch card and the GH-Link card as well.
The card, however, works based on customers' preference. If customers want to spend off their bank accounts, they will need the link-compliant terminal in order to execute such transaction.
By 2020, both President Akufo-Addo and his predecessor, President Mahama, would have occupied the highest office of the land for at least one term. They are likely to be the main contenders in the next election and would compete with their records on several fronts, including how media freedoms have fared on their watch. Well, today, as we continue our media freedom campaign, my colleague Raymond Akwa has been examining the track records of the two governments when it comes to the protection and development of the media. Here is this report read to you by Fifi Kumsing.
For us, the victory of the 28th of December is not a victory for the NPP. It's a victory for democracy and for Ghana. That's a very much more important victory than the victory of whoever is temporarily for 3 or 4 years occupying the seat of power.
I think Nana should tell this to Mr. Akufo. He was on Vibe today, and they asked him, if he would accept the outcome. And he said that if things were normal, then he should emerge as president. That is a very dangerous opinion to hold, that you can only emerge as president if things are normal.
I, John Dramani Mahama.
Vice President John Mahama took over from late President Mills with a lot of promise because of his often touted membership of the Inky fraternity.
The media, in addition to its various other roles and responsibilities, also quite often serves as a messenger of the people, bringing to light many issues that are of relevance and immediate concern to the Ghanaian public.
Indeed, it was under him in 2014 that Ghana had its best World Press Freedom ranking, published by Reporters Without Borders.
A member of the multimedia group was Thursday assaulted by an official of the National Health Insurance Authority at Ablekuma here in Accra.
On the other hand, it was the same year that Adom FM news editor Efia Pokua and 2 others were attacked by NIA officials. Again, assault on a journalist by presidential staffer Stan Dogbe, and murder of radio broadcaster George Abanga in September 2015 were cited as cases contributing to Ghana's drop in the World Press Freedom Ranking by the US-based Freedom House that year. For General Manager of the Chronicle newspaper, Ebo Kwanzaa, these were signs that the agents of the dark days were still lurking around.
He is a communication expert, and I think he will want to promote media freedom. But as I said, some elements of the darkness who promoted the culture of darkness were still around. If we joined President yes. I mean, they were lurking around, you know. I mean, so there were one or two infractions. But I think he did well. Mr. Speaker, it is to meet.
2016 saw some legal developments favorable to press freedom. In June, the government withdrew the Interception of Postal Packets and Telecommunications Messages Bill, known as the Spy Bill, from parliamentary consideration. In November, the Supreme Court struck down 2015 content standards regulations issued by the NMC, saying they were tantamount to a censorship regime.
It is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo's assumption of the highest office of the land was good news for media freedom, since he was the Attorney General who appealed the criminal and seditious libel laws.
As Attorney General, under the government of the great Ghanaian statesman, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, the second President of the Fourth Republic, I led the process in Parliament for the repeal of the criminal libel law. The repeal, when it occurred on 27 July 2001, was a very happy day for me, representing one of the high points of my public career.
Indeed, after so many years, the Right to Information Bill was passed into law. Despite these laurels, there have been deepening worries about attacks on the media and other forms of infractions that have reared their ugly heads under this administration. Ghana has recorded at least 41 violations of media rights between February 2017 and March 2019. From the murder of Ahmed Swale through the assault of Latif Idris and 20 others to the attack on media houses, and for the first time in the Fourth Republic, the eventual shutdown of radio stations, including non-opposition media groups like Radio Gold and Radio XYZ.
So they held you like this?
Yes, so this way. And they asked me to sit. So I sat. So now they could have their free way to slap me.
That's not all. There have also been detentions, threats, torture, and the seizure of equipment, all under this government. These violations have prompted critics and champions of media freedom like Dr. Charles Rekubrobe and Harunata to predict a return to the culture of silence.
It reminds me of a Dubois Hines culture of silence. You know, the government of the party that believed in the rule of law and the freedom of speech and expression and Kabi and everything is inadvertently, because I have no evidence to suggest that it has taken specific divisions, but it's inadvertently recreating a culture of silence in Ghana.
Because of the pressure he is under now, he may now sit up and see that, look, things are not going well, and then start letting his people, maybe he's not even the one, but his people, to start modifying their attitude to the media.
This government can still turn the tide around, but will it? Well, time will tell.
The Central Region Executive of the governing New Patriotic Party has called on the Central Region Police Command to go after members of the concerned MPP who they believe are behind the vandalism of the regional office. Members of the concerned group have been staging protests asking National Executive of the party to reinstate its suspended Regional First Vice Chairman, Eko Horace Ewusi. Today, Central Regional Executive of the New Patriotic Party has rubbished claims of victimization leveled against them by supporters of the suspended Regional Vice President, Horace Eko Ewusi. The party explains the due process was followed in handing the embattled First Vice Chairman, Eko Ewusi, the indefinite suspension. Richard Kwejo has more. Kwejo Nyako has more.
The vandalism of the MPP regional office follows the disagreement over the suspension of the first vice chairman of the party, Eko Horace Ewisi. About a week ago, a group calling itself concerned members of the MPP in the region staged a protest accusing the regional chairman of the party, Robert Kutin, of being behind the suspension. They claim he did not follow the procedure in causing his suspension. On Tuesday, over 2,000 members of the same group organized a news conference giving a 5-day ultimatum to the national executives to reinstate the first vice chairman.
Very invitation by the discipline committee to Mr. Ewisi was flawed because Chairman Robert Kutin on his own has no locus to suspend the colleague chairman at the regional level. The said meeting ended up in chaos, and following up with a petition by 14 of the 23 constituency chairmen in the region to distance themselves and condemn the chairman Putin.
After the conference, members were alleged to have marched to the party's regional office, smashing anything in sight. Central Regional Police PRO DSP Irene Opon says the regional command is on a hunt for the leaders of the concerned group, for one, organizing the demonstration against the Public Order Act, and two, for the alleged act of vandalism.
At police, we proceeded to the venue to give security, to protect life and property. The men were there when we had another information that the regional office of the same party was under attack. Police proceeded to the place, and as the men and the crime officer were there assessing the extent of damage and also to gather evidence to help in looking for the perpetrators, they realized that members who were organizing the press conference at a hotel have marched from the place to their regional office, that is at Nkamfua. Per the Public Order Act, that activity can be described as a public event, and therefore the police were not given notice that that activity will go on. Currently, what the Regional Police Command, under the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Paul Manley Awini, is doing is that the organizers of the event have been invited, and we are making all efforts to get all those who were involved in organizing that program to help us with investigations.
On Wednesday, the regional executive of the party held a news conference stating their position on the matter. The regional executive said the appropriate procedures were followed in the indefinite suspension handed over to the first vice chairman. Regional Secretary of the party, Richard Tichimensa, addressed the news conference.
Just laid down procedure for seeking redress than to resort to violence and vandalize party properties at the regional party office. We have never witnessed this kind of violence in our party in the region before, and therefore we call on party officials, members and supporters to adhere to party rules and decisions, as we are not going to countenance any kind of the indiscipline on the part of any party officer or member in the region. The vandalization of properties at the regional party office by some hoodlums yesterday has been reported to the police, and we are admonishing the police to do a thorough investigation to fish out the perpetrators of this dastardly acts, for them to face the full rigors of the law.
Central Regional Minister Kwame Duncan says members of the concerned group should act responsibly, not to create a sense of disunity, because the party members have coexisted peacefully.
I want to assure the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Ghanaians with a lot of goodwill for this party, and especially those who have that unflinching affiliation to our party in the region, that this party is firm. It's not as if I am conjecturing this. You are all in this region, except this source of disruption, this source of disruption, this, except this. Let anybody raise their hand. and tell me where in the region that the party is somehow troubled. Tell me. But it is not as we wish. It is as the party's constitution directs all of us.
Joy News, Cape Coast.